Okay, this is the RCO guy. This is the flameweel 550. Six rotors and motors on it, 6 controllers. Um, in theory, it looks like a pretty nice machine. I've seen some good reviews on it. The flight characteristics are supposed to be really nice. Just as a note to people who are not familiar with this thing, if you've never built one before, it's not going to be an easy process right off the bat. There are no directions that come with it. You have to download everything off the internet. It's choppy instructions at best, so it's kind of hard to follow some of the stuff. The site that I purchased it from had a pretty good support person on the other end. Was the sales guy who owned the company, so he walked me through some of the finer tuning settings and stuff. It has a naza controller inside, and setting up the naza with the receiver pack, with the receiver itself, it's a 2.4 dx8 from Spektrum. Some of that, the wiring instruction is unclear, but you got to be really careful to get that all correct. Motors have to be spinning in the proper direction. You can see I have mine are labeled, and there's an arrow on there for direction, so you know what the sequence of the motors are. The assist software that comes with it, you have to download, and setting that up was pretty easy. The only thing to be aware of is unpacking the drivers. They are in a zip format in a rare .rar. You have to have the latest version of WinZip for that. Some people have trouble with it. So anyway, this model here has the LED lights on the front. These are the red, and then there's blue on the back side for orientation. It runs a massive battery. This is the battery that it works with. There's the Trinity 6.0, 6,000 milliamp. It's a 2-cell. It's 14.8 volts. I'm sorry, it's 4-cell, and it is a huge monster. This weighs in at 1.6 pounds. So this is a hefty thing to have on there. But believe it or not, the preliminary testing this morning with it, I had it tie wrapped to a milk crate that was full of some paperwork. It was pretty heavy. It's probably over 10 pounds. And had a tie wrapped to that just to do some tests. And it wanted to lift the crate with the materials in it. So it's probably got 3 or 4 pounds of lift on it, I bet. I haven't flown it yet. This is the first time. It's just been assembled in the last few days. Just get the radio set up last night, got all the wiring correct. So we're going to do a flight with it today, hopefully. It's a little windy out here. Not real warm day again, but we've been lucky. We've had some really nice weather. So, but the wiring is key to be aware of. It's not going to be an easy process. The other thing to be aware of is the orientation of the naza controller. As you can see, this is the USB interface. This is also like the receiver interface and everything, the brain of it basically. That's the program. Behind it, the naza controller is sitting on the second deck below it. And I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's in there. That has to be oriented with the motor leads, must be facing in the direction that the aircraft is going to fly in. So the motor leads where they plug in are facing this direction. This is our forward action on the machine. The forward side is the red side. And it has to be orientated that way, otherwise it's going to fly funny. You won't get it to hover and everything. This is stuff that I picked up online. A lot of useful information out there. Not a lot of information on this, very specific stuff. I've seen some pretty good videos where they're trying to describe doing the assembly, but you know, there's no volume, no voice, nobody speaking. It's just a guy with his finger pointing at things and doing video clips. And that's really not, you know, helpful. So the other thing to keep in mind is the person I purchased this from, the fail-safe is not set up on this. So that fail-safe setting all has to be done with the radio itself and has to be properly adjusted. From what I'm told, if you hit the wrong switch, which in this case is the flight mode switch on the DX8 radio. Yeah. This is my DX8. Nice radio, $429 online. Pretty good. This is what I've done. This is the flight mode switch. Right now it's position 0, which would be it on autonomous or attitude mode. If you put it in the 1 position, it goes to failsafe. If you don't have the failsafe set up correctly on the radio itself, what I'm told is this thing will take off and never come back again, because it's actually defaulting to whatever the settings were. If you did not set the settings correctly and you hit that switch, especially if you're in flight with autonomous or attitude mode and you want to switch into manual mode, what will happen is it'll take, when you cross those 2 modes and you do the switching, it will take off into the air and keep on going, because it's not going to have any presets to tell it to come back down. So you basically lose the model. So that's why I painted this sucker red. This has to be in the 0 position when you fire up the radio. You don't ever want to have it in position 1, because I don't have the failsafe set and it'll go to the moon and back. The auto mode, manual mode, the manual mode itself, when you put it in position 2, is okay. You can start it, actually. It doesn't really go through the same startup procedure as it does in auto mode. But you want to just leave it in attitude, you know, when you're learning, until you want to go to maybe some 3D flight or something more intense.